Vinney Chopra, a man who took $7 to a portfolio of over $250 million in apartment investing. He mentors and coaches to make apartment syndication easy. Each week, he will share his expertise, tricks, trades, and golden nuggets how to master the art of syndication to bring cash flow streams to your business, to change your life for the better. Here is Mr. Smiles.
Syndication Made Easy with Vinney Chopra, also known as Mr. Smiles. My name is Alicia Dubrell, and I co-host this show with Mr. Smiles each week. And I get the privilege to get all of the apartment syndication and golden nuggets from Mr. Chopra each week. And this week, we are going to talk about property takeovers. And this is something that Mr. Chopra has done. What is it? How many times? 27, 28?
27 times, yes.
27 times. So he's definitely a professional. He definitely knows how to get it done. In fact, he also owns one of his companies. That's what they do, is property takeover, and runs properties. So he is the go-to person for this subject. So Mr. Chopra, talk to me about property takeover. Let's talk about it from the aspect of somebody as an investor that they're at the closing table. It's right there. Where do we start here?
Surely, Alicia. Thank you. Good morning. Hey, guys. We'd like to talk about, as Alicia mentioned, we have the acquisition companies and then the management companies, and that is so very important to really work hard how to take over the asset. And many of you listening to me today or watching me may be thinking, that you don't have your own company that's going to take over. That's okay, because you will be working with a third-party company who's going to do that for you. But as an owner, you want to be really cognizant of what's happening and what the picture should be looking like as the people are able to bring it, that we need to be preparing to take over is the main part of it. As you know, you worked so hard looking to the due diligence, the underwriting, taking the loan, qualifying for loan, looking at the physical aspect of the property, how it looked inside each unit and outside. You've done all that. Now the fruit of your labor is coming. You have to take over the keys. I call it millions of dollars of asset. Like we just got the one in June, end of June of 2019.
They're very expensive keys.
52, very expensive asset, guys. $52 million worth of asset. If you put that $52 million in paper, it's going to be a lot of money. But guess what? Once the owner gives you the keys, giving you the keys means it's your baby. It's your baby. If you give those keys to the property management company, you're giving your life in their hands. If you take that key to yourself, to your company, you're keeping your life within you. I say that. That made a big difference in my thinking many years back, 12 years back, and that's why we have had 2 acquisition companies, 2 management companies, 1 educational company, and 1 now maybe another motivation company. The success motivation company. I'm fixing to open my 6th company right there. But the thing is, you got to really prepare for it. So let me take you through all the aspects of it. Okay. The first of all, one has to be already thinking who's going to take over the asset. Who is the community manager or property manager? A lot of time people talk about property manager is the leader of that community, of that property, multifamily or any other commercial real estate, whatever you are buying. You got to see who's going to be in charge, who's going to sit at that property in multifamily in the leasing office. That's the true leader. The number one leader is the community manager in our structure. Then comes the lead maintenance. Lead maintenance is a person, a maintenance manager who is HVAC qualified. That is heating and ventilation qualification certification should be there to that person so that you're not calling contractors to take care of all these different things. He should be proficient in plumbing, in electrical, in HVAC, like I mentioned, in make readies, all those things. So that's the second leader. That's the second leader of your community. The property manager, the community manager, and then the lead maintenance, we call it, or the maintenance manager. Who reports to who? Does the community manager report to this? No. This person, the lead maintenance, reports to community manager, always. Property manager. There should never be two different places where they both have leadership. That's wrong, because see, the thing is, when the residents are coming, they're coming into leasing office under the manager here, and they need to be the ones who let the lead maintenance in the meeting, in the morning meeting, to talk about these are the people's moving in, these are the apartments we need to make ready, what are the requirements, what are the new appliances do we need, or any structural changes we need to do. If there is a leak or somebody left from that apartment, do we need a new carpeting, new flooring, new appliances, all those things. So the leader of the community is that manager, that community manager. So lead maintenance reports to community manager. The other person reports to community manager is the leasing agent or assistant manager. Assistant manager also is the person / leasing agent who is really going out to market the community, market in the community, the property, and meeting the people who come in to the leasing office or main office to show them the apartments, the model homes, what's available, and so forth, right? So that's the third person in the whole paper, the equation. The fourth person we need to talk about is the helper to the lead maintenance. In smaller communities like 60, 70, 80 units, only one manager will be leasing agent also, and a manager also, and the lead maintenance is going to be the only person who's going to be at that community, because the payroll cannot warrant another help. But you could get other vendors to help out there. So let's talk about property takeover. I just wanted to take you to the structure of the payroll. What I'm getting there right now is to the people. As you take the keys, you got to have these two people in place. Are you getting them from the seller? The owner is allowing you to interview the people who are there. Of course, if the property is not being run correctly, you want to fire both of them from that owner and get your people in there. That's where it comes out 1 month before takeover. 1 month before takeover, you got to start putting advertisements in the Indeed magazine, in the Craigslist. We have perfected these ads. I can put them just like this in Craigslist in any city in the USA, and I start getting these resumes come in with the cover letters and their qualifications, their all the portfolio, their resume, everything starts coming to my email, and I never do it in my company's name, because they like to then find out what property and so forth. I want them to just apply first with my company, and then our HR director, and I have done it myself before. I was the HR director for many, many years, and our VP of finance was also doing it for the payroll aspect of it. But the big thing is you got to have these great creative ads, and we'll be able to actually build our own academy on the property management, we call it, or asset management academy in my teaching also, which is something I've been having it in my back of my mind for a long time. So I'm building that also. The thing is, you'll get all the tools that I've perfected there. But let's talk about more things now. Alicia, so preparation for takeover also gets the personnel taken out, you might be working with a property management company. So if you are going to use a third party, a property management company, you should start talking to them maybe before the month. Actually, you should be starting to talk to them when you got the property, when you underwrote the property, when you are talking about you are purchasing it for sure. You should be talking to the property management company also in that town or nearby town where they'll be able to take over with you as soon as you purchase it. See, so then they will come with their manager and their personnel to. They would have already helped you to find the right people to be at your property.
No, and I like how you tell people. And now I have a question.
Yeah.
In your courses, don't you have all of this stuff already done?
Good point. Good point. Yes, actually, I have written a lot of things, lot of worksheets and everything. You're right. Where what you can do to find the right management company. There are so many questions to ask them. There are 31 questions or 32 questions. How to really find what their structure is. How do they deal with tenants? What is their cost of, leasing? And how do they market their property? What software do they use? How long they've been in business? What kind of, personnel do they hire? What kind of benefits do they give? So there are so many questions. We have a list of that also. Anybody listening to me or watching us now, they could just send the message to John, Jon, at vinneychopra.com, VINNEY Chopra.com. We'll send you that free, the whole list, and give you a lot of other things also. What's the due diligence list, we call it. We can give that also for free. There are some things we charge because, we have to also run the company, but we give a lot of things for free.
You definitely do.
Now, the property management company is the big part of your business now. See, you told your investors or yourself, I'm going to make these kind of returns. The returns are not made when you buy the property. It's how you operate the property. Operation of the property is the hardest thing, guys. Listen to me. It's not what you buy and you do all these fancy projections to the investors and tell them, hey, we're going to give you 10% returns, 15% returns, average of 20 IRR and all that stuff. But it's how to understand how to run the asset well.
Yeah, no, agreed. Completely agreed. So what... I guess when you're young, when you're on the beginning part of your career in commercial real estate, you should have a property management team because you don't have your own. Not everybody's in your position,
right?
And I know we have actually done some podcasts about how to find them and how to find the proper ones. And there's different tools out there to find them. And then once you do, in order to keep them, and actually we've actually talked about. There's a podcast. If you guys look, you'll find a podcast about how to interview and all this stuff. We've actually gone over some of this stuff in the past, haven't we?
No, you're right. You're right, Alicia. See, the thing is that when we are ready to, take over the asset, we need to have the property management company already vetted. They are ready. You should have signed a contract. You know the ins and outs of them, and they are fully involved. Even if you're going to actually get them to manage your asset, get them involved in the due diligence.
I was going to say that. Plus, you can get them to do the due diligence for free.
Yeah,
Smart.
Exactly. Exactly. They will do it for free. Some of them might even, give you so many great pointers and look into the conditions of the units inside and give you some ideas on how much it's going to cost to take care of those repairs and things like that. The other part I want to say about preparation for takeover are transferring the utilities.
Okay.
Huge, guys. I've had some properties from my mistakes. Please learn, because we had water turned off. Oh my gosh. My half of the building did not get the water because the water got turned off or something, or electricity got turned off, the boiler shut down, all that happened. And my one of the community, which were very prestigious community, people were up in arms. They don't want to take shower in the cold water.
I would be pissed.
I know you would be, wouldn't you? You know, and those things happen. Guys, it happens if we don't take care of it right from the get-go. You got to talk to the water district and in the town you're buying, electricity district, the phones and the internet.
Should be on the border of different...
Gas. Electric and gas, water, sewer is okay. Sewer is the same as water. But the thing is, you got to talk to those utility companies, find out how much money you need to give it as deposit. That's the word, deposit. You might need $10,000, $15,000 or surety bond to make sure that they transfer those utilities in your name, in your LLC's name. Now, you bought this property about 3 months back. You thought about it. You formed a new LLC. LLC has no record of any working with anybody. So the utilities will not take it as an established business. So it's going to ask you to put deposit money.
For sure, yeah.
I was not taught that. I learned it the harder way. And now we prepare ourselves so well. We have the money stashed away, $30,000, $40,000 to pay as a deposit. This money is your money. But it comes to you. The water is transferred to you if you pay them just previous, whatever the property was consuming water. They want to keep 2 months or 3 months of that money in their account as security so that if you default, they will use that money. So surety bond is another way to do that. Many of the utilities companies let you give them a surety bond. That is where you pay less money to get a surety from the bank or from other people. There are a lot of surety bond companies out there that you could give them the surety bond and then they will transfer the utilities in your name. Internet. I have had communities I took over, they lost power, they lost internet. There were no telephones at all for 3 days. Okay, would you like that? No, you will not.
Angry.
I know.
So I would not want to be you. Let's just say that.
That's the thing. See, the thing is, when this owner is selling you the property, the seller, they want to cut you off right away. So it's really good to communicate with your seller broker also, so that you want to let them know, hey, don't cut it off. The same day when the apartment gets recorded and you gave me the keys, don't cut it off because it's going to take me time to go there next day. That's why I say never close on Friday. When you close on Friday, you take the keys, you really have nothing to do to transfer your utilities. You should always close Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday maybe, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is the best days to close. Then you have 2 more days to really take care of transferring of these things that I just mentioned to you, the telephone lines, the internet, the water district, the electricity, all that stuff.
I love it. Well, I appreciate all of the detail, and like I like to end every single episode that we do. I would like a nugget of advice for somebody who's taking over their first property. What would it be?
Okay, thank you, Alicia. I would say the very best thing is that you're happy, you're contented, you worked so hard, you raised the money if you're a syndicator like me, and you are getting to that close. You got to get into a gear to take over that asset in a very efficient way. As efficiently, you just closed on the deal. You want to get the hat of management, property management hat, and then be ready to take over and bring the kind of things that so that the community, the people who are living, the residents are the winners. It's the win-win-win situation, I call it. You want very smooth transition I call it very smooth transition so that they don't feel any less. Actually, they should feel more that a new management company, new owner has taken over. I like to put big signs also, new attitude, new management, new ownership. So new attitude, new management, new ownership outside the leasing office, and balloons and everything. And then, of course, if there is nothing much to be done in that community, to put value add or curb appeal, I do change the curb appeal, put flags and things. Then after about 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, I invite the mayor of the city. I invite the city building, offices, the Chamber of Commerce. I invite the Better Business Bureau. I invite a lot of people, and our employees of nearby communities also have luncheon. And then we can do a ribbon cutting ceremony, we call it. Ribbon cutting ceremony is so important to bring the people of the community, the television people and the newspaper, and do some free publicity for your community. And it's a great idea to do that, guys. I don't know how many of you listening or watching me do it. I've done it in most of my communities, and it brings out a lot more awareness, lot more. And if the community is going to be changing name, it's better to do a ribbon cutting again, because I'm thinking, people like to know what new things are doing as a good citizen, what values you are bringing to your community, how more amenities you are bringing, how much curb appeal you are bringing, how much more, the health and the consciousness and the fairness you're bringing, and bringing good value to your residents. They are king. Investors are king. Residents are king. Vendors are king. Our team members are king. And they are the valued assets.
No, I agree. Well, Mr. Smiles, I really appreciate your time today. We are done with this podcast, but I think there's definitely more we could cover when it comes to taking over our property. I think we can probably break it up in steps maybe at a later show. And also maybe we can ask some of your students, because I'm sure some of your students have some questions.
We do it day in, day out, day in, day out. We are managing the assets. I could do so much. Guys, please subscribe to us, like us, share, because you will get all these nuggets that thousands of dollars my students pay, to learn these tricks of the trade from me. We are giving it to you for free. It's going to take you many years to get all these things all together, because we do only one podcast a week, 52 a year. But go ahead and join my academy, apply for sponsorship, for mentorship, and learn from me, because I can teach you so much that you will be taking your knowledge to a big, rocket ship, and you'll be able to do what I can do in just short few months. So go ahead and, write to John, John at vinneychopra.com and say, I want to learn from Vinney. And then the book. Thank you. And I hope you have read my book, Apartment Syndication Made Easy, my journey from $7 to over 300 million now. It's going to be $500 million portfolio soon, because I have so much money. So many investors are saying, Vinney, you are crushing it. We want to invest with you passively. Can we give you $250,000? Can we give you $500,000? Guys, people are coming to meet me right here in Danville, Blackhawk, and giving me a check for $500,000 in just 1 hour. They are just, believing in what I have done as results-wise and so forth. It's all in the pudding. Proof is in the pudding. So remember, you want to do really well, managing your assets. That's what this whole podcast is about, taking over your asset and bringing the kind of returns that you promise to your investors. So good luck to you. Be successful, be hardy, and take that test and take the people to the next level.
And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys, until next week, this is
Bye-bye. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Alicia.
Be sure to listen to Mr. Smiles next week with more golden nuggets and top-notch coaching tips. You can reach him by going to vinneychopra.com or texting the word syndication to 474747. Be sure to like, comment, and share to show everyone how Mr. Smiles has brought your apartment syndication business to the next level.